Welcome to the Property Profits Real Estate Podcast, the show where real estate investors talk strategy, capital, deals, and growth with your host, Dave Dubeau.
Hey gang, welcome back. Well, if you are a real estate investor and you're looking at your long-term exit strategy, like what are your goals to retire from real estate investing, then pay close attention to today's guest. Brandon Bruckman is zooming in from beautiful Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and he knows a thing or two about exactly that. In fact, I think he has a podcast all about that, if I'm not mistaken, Brandon. So welcome to the show. Great to have you.
Thanks, Davis. It's great to be here, and you're not mistaken. That is literally the title of the podcast, is The Retiring Real Estate Investor.
All right, very good. So give us a little snapshot, first of all, of the Brandon Bruckman 2026 real estate story. What do you guys do? Where do you fit in the real estate landscape these days?
Yeah, we find ourselves on a mission really to inform longstanding real estate investors of simply their options as they approach, unfortunately for all of us, end of life scenarios, and we're getting older. And
well, that's pleasant.
What do we do?
Thanks for bringing.
Yeah,
Are we selling insurance here or what, man? What's going on?
It's going to happen for all of us. So I think what we find over and over again is simply there's no playbook. So if you think about, your normal W-2 worker who's at a company, they have a 401k, someone's been in their ear their whole lives talking to them about retiring over and over again. They hear it on commercials, left, right, and sideways. No one's talking to real estate investors and saying those things.
They're just real estate investors thinking that this is the retirement plan, build a portfolio, create passive income, create passive wealth, pass it on to the family. Isn't that kind of where most people think about it?
1,000%. It is. Yeah. Until parts of that plan don't work. I.e., the next generation doesn't want to take it over.
I was going to say that. Yeah.
Maybe you're sick of doing this because, as we all know in this industry, it's a full-time job and it is a business that you're running, is maintaining these properties and make sure that people are in them and they're paying rent. It's dynamic, it's complicated, it's time-consuming. Mm-hmm. And at some point, I think that folks aren't ready to say, oh, wait, I don't really want to do this for 40 years. What do I do? Do I have to sell and pay? I have a huge tax bill. What do I do? Right. And so that's where we kind of step in, I think, to fill that void, to let people know there are many options for you to keep deferring tax, to keep earning true passive income, and then to eventually pass that to your heirs. All those options are available to you, and it doesn't require you to work 40, 50, 60 hours a week.
Well, why don't we do it this way then, Brandon? Search through your memory bank. Maybe if you can pull a story of one of your favorite clients, and maybe that might illustrate what you do and how you do it. No names, nothing like that, but maybe just paint us a picture of somebody who came to you guys relatively recently, where they were at, and what you were able to help them do that kind of fits into the plan.
Yeah, I got one that pops right to the top of my mind that fits most investors and has a good outcome. This gentleman was managing up to 400 at one point, single family and duplexes, in and around a single city. Had his own management company, was rocking and rolling, everything was great, but just hit that point where it was very clear that the market was presenting him opportunities to sell and wasn't quite sure what to do. So we had actually met 3 years before we started working together, and he kept my card. Yeah. And then one day it clicked in for him. He said, oh man, I need to find a way out. So we spent upwards of a year putting these in packages and helping him sell those, and eventually transition into what we refer to in the space, the DST, or the Delaware Statutory Trust, which again is used in the 1031 exchange as a passive investment. It took us a year to get to that point. Finally, we're done. The best part is he moved his family to somewhere warm. And then he had the 6 surgeries on his knees and back that he was unable to do while he was working. There just wasn't the kind of time for him to do that and take off. He's 40, 50 pounds lighter. And I wouldn't put a number on it, but has he extended his life, or at least extended his life in a meaningful way where he feels great and his quality of life's increased? 1,000%. And I'm like, that's it. So when we talk about deferring tax and the economics and all this stuff is important, that's what's important, is the output. Is can I live those years of my life that I expected to live in a real retirement? I'm sorry, managing properties for 40, 60 hours a week is not a real retirement. That's not retirement. If you really love it and enjoy it, don't let me tell you. But to me, that doesn't sound like what you had in mind, right? I think what we had in mind is passivity. So we're able to get him there, and he's able to do those things and live a better quality of life.
Okay, so he had 400 plus units, doors, properties, whatever.
Yep.
It took him a while to get it all sold off.
Yeah.
So walk me through the financial side of things with that, if you would.
Yeah, absolutely. So financially, what we're able to do there, one is deferring the taxes, the most important thing of the equation that we're talking about, right?
Okay.
So you're staring at a 30 to, in some cases, 40% tax bill between capital gains at a federal and a state level and depreciation recapture. Like the numbers get daunting, right? So that's the first thing. Let's defer that. And the second thing is thinking about what can we replace in terms of income. It's our belief that if you're spending the kind of time we talked about managing those properties, you should make more money per year than being completely passive. It's our belief that that's the case. Not always the case when we start to put numbers on a page. We come to find folks that when we look at the actual value of their properties versus the kind of cash flow they're taking in each year, we see numbers like 2, 3, 4%. That's it. Cash on equity, 2, 3, 4%. That's it that they're making. They had no idea because they're so busy inside of their day-to-day operations. They had no clue to take a step back and say, hey, what am I really making? So we can beat that going passive. So then we're getting
okay. So what does that actually mean? Beat that going passive. What do they end up investing that? They get that big chunk of cash from selling off the portfolio. They defer taxes on it through the Delaware Trust, right? Then what? Where do they put that big chunk of cash? What do you guys do with that?
That's where it's going. So inside of that Delaware Statutory Trust is called investment grade type properties. So think larger multifamily, industrial buildings, self-storage, but think larger. That's where that money is going. So you're still invested in real estate. We're just trusting a third party to completely run that deal from management to making buy and sell decisions about that real estate. That's up to someone else to do. So that's who we're trusting to do that work. And there is nothing then for you to do. In fact, you can't do anything. There's no decisions for you to make. And so that's
so what I'm hearing between the lines there is you're not necessarily the sole owner on the property making the decisions. You're investing into some sort of a fund or syndication or something like that. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, think of it. The easiest way to think about the Delaware Statutory Trust is it's just syndication. It's a syndication wrapper around real estate that allows us to use it in 1031 exchange. Is it more complicated than that? Yeah. Does anyone care? Not really. Do you want to hear the dirty details? No. They're all there. No. And it works, and it's all IRS approved and all the good things. But that's the simplistic of what it is syndication that we can use in a 1031 exchange.
Okay. So in the 1031 exchange, you're the expert. I've just interviewed a few smart guys like you before, so I've got enough information to be a little bit dangerous with this. So my understanding, Brandon, is, if you sell that portfolio of 400 properties in this guy's example, you have to either trade straight across or trade up with a 1031 exchange, buy into something bigger. So it sounds like you can buy a portion of something. You don't have to be the total owner of that property. Is that correct?
100% correct.
Okay.
And that's exactly what's happening to you in the Delaware Statutory Trust. And operationally, that's how you'll see it. You'll do your 1031 exchange. Your replacement property will be the DST. And then you'll see that directly on the closing statement, exactly what you invested in. And then your percentage ownership of that property, you'll see directly on that closing statement. You've got it exactly right, Dave.
Okay. Very, very cool. All right. So what else is there to know about this kind of whole retirement planning as a real estate investor?
Yeah, I think, again, the biggest thing for us is so many people are unaware of these options. So if I can pound anything home for people listening is, if you haven't thought about this, start thinking about it. One, like, what do I want to happen at the end of life? What's reasonable when I'm thinking about what are my heirs capable of? Do they want to be in real estate? Do they want to manage real estate? Can they manage real estate? You have to kind of figure those things out. How do you want to distribute your wealth to them? Are they ready to receive that when you pass? Is it later on in life? A lot of these are good things to start to have a conversation with a trust attorney about and make sure you have those things aligned and have those things kind of put in place. So thinking about those end of life things. So do that first and then start to think about, well, what can I do today? If I'm starting to get that itch, like, gosh, my passion for this is waning a little bit, or God forbid you start to have some health issues like we talked about. right? Start thinking about what your options are. So many people that we talk to have absolutely no idea that this is even an option. And so that's the piece that we just pound home every single day. Like, you've got choices here to make.
So you gave an example of a gentleman with 400 properties across the entire city. Some people might be listening to this and going, geez, I've got 2 or 3 properties. This won't work for me.
No.
Is that true or is that false?
No, false. I mean, it works for anybody who's A, accredited, and I'll explain what that means in a second. But B, minimum investments in a DST can be as low as $100,000. So let's spin this differently. So maybe you don't have 400 properties. Maybe you have 3. And they're one part of many things that you do. Maybe you have a job and you have a couple of these rentals on the side. Do you really have the time to dedicate to those? Are you making the kind of money you want out of them? Obviously, this isn't your full-time passion. You don't have to hang on to those. Just waiting for this step up in basis for your heirs. You don't need to do that. And so I impress upon anyone who's sort of in that situation with investment real estate and is accredited is having those kind of feelings like, gosh, I think I could be doing better with this money, or I just don't feel like I want to do this anymore, or how do I get really, really, truly passive? Those are people we'd love to have a conversation with too. So it works for more than just that gigantic real estate investor in your city who's looking to get completely out of the game. It works for a variety of other people as well.
Okay, well, that's good to know. And basically, it's like, hey, thinking about getting out of the active real estate game, don't want to get whacked with a massive tax bill upon sale.
Yes.
That's where this makes full sense. Okay, cool stuff. Yep. So, Brandon, who are you looking to connect with these days?
Oh, everyone we just got done talking about. So those are, first and foremost, are our clients, are those real estate investors. But we've formed great relationships with people around them as well. So think about your CPAs, commercial real estate brokers in particular, who are struggling trying to get that listing and getting told the same things we talked about. Hey, I can't sell, I have a big tax bill. No, I'm waiting for a step up in basis. Call us, partner with us on that, right? Say, hey, I got a solution for you. How valuable is that going to be for your clients as a commercial real estate broker, right? Like, oh, I can fix your problem. Really? You're not just here to talk about price and what I'm going to buy next. You're here to actually fix this? Yeah, I can actually fix this for you. So we've formed great relationships with them as well. So we love to connect with those folks too.
Well, perfect. So if people want to connect with you, Brandon, what should they do? Where should they go?
Yeah, we'd love them to start on our website. Investwithinsight.com is the first place to start. Find all my contact info. There's lots of materials there for you as well to check out. But that's the best place to start. Investwithinsight.com.
And as we're wrapping up, maybe tell me a little bit about your podcast.
Oh, yes, the Retiring Real Estate Investors. So we'll interview real estate investors on there. We'll interview sponsors of the Delaware Statutory Trusts, so you can get to know more about their companies and what they're focused on, what kind of theses they're practicing out in the real estate marketplace. We'll talk to QIs. We'll talk to CPAs about how to do tax efficiency. We'll talk to other alternative investment offerings as well. So we'll kind of run the gauntlet of, it's sort of my little petri dish of like, oh, I think that's interesting. I want to learn more about that. Come on the podcast so we can educate me and educate our investors about what's interesting in the world of investing for all these folks.
Fantastic. Hey, Brandon, thanks for being on the show.
Oh, thank you so much, Dave.
All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in, and we will see you again on the next one.
Thanks for listening to the Property Profits Podcast. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, apply at daveinterviews.com.